Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel and welcome to this sketch that I'm going to go ahead and use. It is from Paper Issues. It is from several months ago, probably last spring I believe, and I did this layout way back then and I just am now getting around to voicing it. I've had so many things going on I hadn't had a chance to, and so this one kind of got put by the wayside. And I'm just glad to go ahead and get it out there for you now. So if you've seen this layout already, there is a possibility that that has happened, but for the most part I don't think I've shared it in a whole lot of places except maybe on Paper Issues. So anyway, I started out with this big circle cut out of my white paper, and I am using some paper glaze in Black Pansy, and it is super smooth, goes on quick and dries fast. I just love it. It goes on so smooth. But you can see there, I kind of made a mess, and I'm actually going to make a little bit of a mess here because I'm trying to add a little bit more to it, but then I end up with a smudge, so I end up flipping my paper over and doing it again. So you're going to see that here in just a second. You can see I left that little line there. I thought, oh, maybe I'll just be able to scrape it off with my tweezers, but yeah, it dries too fast and there's no way to scrape that off. So I end up flipping the whole thing over. Luckily, that works out well as also. Doesn't really matter where that circle is, and it was kind of in that corner anyway, so I'm just going to flip it over and do the opposite side. And I'm going to start down in this bottom corner and just use the whole stencil. I don't know what I was thinking before and why I did it that way. So yeah, if you can avoid trying to piece together your stencil while your stuff is wet, it's probably a really good idea. And it'll probably save you a lot of heartache and a lot of headache and a lot of extra work as well. So I went ahead and got that put down, and then I cleaned up my mess, and for some reason I end up using that same side anyway, and I honestly do not remember why. I think I must have had some kind of smudge on the other side as well, but you know what? It's done and it is what it is. This just goes to show things are just not always perfect, and that is real life, and we deal with it and we move on, and you know, we still get our stories told. So that is the important part, and yeah, that's what I end up doing. I do end up putting the whole thing onto black, and you saw me trimming off an eighth of an inch on each side. Sometimes I take a quarter of an inch off of two sides, but in this particular case I took it off of each side. And then I want to back that circle with this bug paper from Chamel, and I love that bug paper, and in the photos my grandson is messing around with bugs again. I don't know how many bug layouts I can actually make and have people still watch my videos, but he's playing with bugs, and in this particular case I believe it's a snail. And so I decided to go ahead and ink up around the outside of that circle, and I am using some Catherine Pooler ink, and I believe that is in what color do we think that is? It's green, obviously. I believe it's Lime Ricky. That is one of my favorite colors. It is a super vibrant green, and it kind of leans a little bit to the yellow side, which I really like. So I'm going to go ahead and ink that up just to make that circle stand out, and I'm going to back this entire paper onto foam tape because I want some dimension in that circle. So I'm just making sure that I have this paper placed where it should be because I want to make sure the entire circle is backed with that paper, and I had it a little bit too far to the left, so I had to move it over because the black was showing, and probably should have just cut it a little bit bigger to begin with, but I didn't, so you know, you gotta move things around. And you can see there's the back of the mixed media. I think I must have had a mistake on that as well. I don't know what was going on, but yeah, let's just move on from that. I am using Fun Foam, and that is just the cheap stuff from Walmart. It is adhesive on one side, and the other side I typically use liquid glue. And I don't know what my thinking was here. I do end up using my tape runner, and that is very possibly because there is so much surface area to be covered that it's probably not going to fall off. But when I am just doing small bits of foam behind maybe an embellishment area or something like that, I usually do use liquid glue because it holds better. I don't really trust the ATG to keep those smaller bits on because it will peel off pretty easily from the foam. So I do see that I use the ATG on this particular one, but I think it's because there is so much surface area to cover again that it's unlikely that all of it would come off. Hopefully it doesn't, none of it comes off. But and you saw how I have the photos on the diagonal just like the sketch, and I really like the way that it looks. I really like how the photo with him looking down on the ground and kneeling, I don't know, it seems like it's situated in just the perfect area for this particular layout. And I am going to pop those up onto foam as well because the whole top layer of that is on foam, and the paper with the bugs on it is recessed, so I want to make sure that these pieces are given the same height as the rest of the layout, or the top of the layout. And I'm trying to figure out how to stick them together because they do have some overlap, and I don't want foam tape in between the two photos. I want them to kind of be, you know, one surface, one level, and not have any added dimension. And again, I'm using my tape here, and this surprises me probably more than it surprises you because it's not something I do very often. You won't see it very often because it's not something I normally do. Now, I don't know what's going on with all of the embellishments that have been coming out lately, but they all have that really wide white border around them. And I'm going to pull out this vellum piece, and it even has a wide border around it. So I'm going to trim that down as well. I really wish they would make them without having such a wide border, or I know you can't do no border, especially on those areas like the handle where I'm trimming now, but you could definitely do a lot less of a border around it, and it would be so much nicer. I do love this vellum piece. I do love that you can see the snail through it. So I am going to play around with that a little bit more. I do have these pieces of epoxy flare that I am also tucking into that large circle there, and they have bugs on them, and I thought that they were super cute because there are so many bugs on that paper. So I do have the 3 epoxy flare, and I'm making a triangle around my photos. And considering that kind of like an embellishment area, this does have a bit of, well, it does have a completely diagonal design to it, but in the sketch there is not a diagonal design. So I don't know, I just move my title to a different area than what the sketch has, and that is really just the purpose of a sketch. You use it as a jumping off point, use it to get yourself started and give yourself some ideas, and then make it yours from there. And that, I find that is the best way to work with a sketch. So unfortunately a lot of my video got cut off for the embellishments, so I wanted to just talk about that really quickly. I am using that epoxy flare. It's from Scrap and Happy Studio. When I order it without the foam on the back because I don't want it so thick. Just make sure you take it out of the package and make sure they're not on top of each other because sometimes they can stick to each other. I end up using just the alphas from Never Grow Up rather than the actual phrase stickers, and the title is I Love Bugs. It's going to be at the bottom of that circle, inside the circle. You're going to see all of this in the close-ups. So otherwise I am just using some florals. I'm adding a little bit of some of the epoxy from the insides of the buttons that come with Never Grow Up to the inside of that circle as well. And then there is a foam heart sticker that I'm going to use for the love part of the title, which is I Love Bugs again. And I'm just going to add some florals to that upper left hand corner and then down by the snail in the cage, and then I will add my journaling. So there's not a whole lot more to it, and I apologize again that it got cut off. The close-ups are coming up. I will actually have those run a little bit longer so that you get a better view of them than you would normally. And again, I really apologize for having that cut off. I hope you have a great day, and thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.